Bleach Brave Souls.
Alright guys, I'm back! What's up, how are you doing today? In this video we are gonna talk about status ailments in general, and we are gonna rank them in a tier list. As it stands right now, we have 9 status elements in the game that I'm gonna cover real quick, but first of all, let's just discuss what are status ailments. So a lot of characters are coming nowadays with status ailments. These are little circly things around your normal attacks and strong attacks, and basically you can identify the status element by looking at the little circle. Maybe you will have drain on your character, weakening, confusion, slow, or any other status elements that are in the game. These are the status elements that we have currently: weaken, drain, freeze, paralyze, burn, poison, lacerate, slow, and confusion. We are gonna talk about every single status element just a little bit, what it does. I'm gonna show it to you how it looks in the game, and we are gonna rank them in a tier list. So I hope you will enjoy. So first of all, we are gonna talk about weaken. Weaken causes characters to receive more damage and also reduces the attack strength to 1 point. So basically when you inflict this status ailment into a enemy or a boss, they are gonna do only 1 damage to you while they are inflicted by the weaken, and you will do a lot of damage to them. This is a very valuable status element to have on your character, because when you inflict this status element into a boss, you're basically protected from all type of damage, but at the same time you will cause a lot of damage to them. The next status element that we are gonna talk about is gonna be Drain. Drain is still fairly new in my opinion. Not a lot of characters has the status element on them. Currently we only have Catfear over Tsukishima, the 6th anniversary Aizen, and Spirits Are Forever with you Jushiro, and it just basically it causes enemies to suffer damage quicker while also healing the character. I mean yourself, you're healing yourself whenever you're inflicting the status ailments. Affected enemies by Drain have 0 chance to inflict a status ailment on you. So yeah, basically when you inflict this, you're gonna heal yourself, but at the same time they cannot inflict a status ailment on you. Even though it doesn't really sound too insane, the heal that you get from this status ailment is just crazy. You don't need basically recovery stamina leak, you don't really need anything else if you have this drain, and especially if it goes well with your character. Most of the times you're gonna be able to auto every single type of content with this status ailment. The next one is gonna be freeze. I'm sure you all know what it does. It just prevents the target from moving. You freeze the enemy, they cannot move for a short period of time, and at the same time you can run away to dodge an upcoming special move from the boss, or basically you can just like use your NAD or strong attacks to just like actually kill the enemy. The next one is gonna be Paralyze. It's the same like freeze. It just basically stuns the target, it cannot move for a short period of time, and you can, again as I said, you can or kill them or basically run away from an upcoming special move. The next 3 status ailments that we are gonna talk about are gonna be Burn, Poison, and Lacerate. Almost all of these 3 status ailments are the same, and only Lacerate is kinda different from Burn and Poison, but we are gonna talk about each separately. So Burn. Burn causes damage over time. It's just basically, you know, like you are burning the enemy. That's kinda it. Burn can do a lot of damage, especially to bosses in Senkaimon. The next one is gonna be Poison. Poison causes damage over time, the same like Burn. It's really good for DPS and killing bosses. So yeah, that's kinda it. The next one is gonna be a little bit more tricky than Poison and Burn. It's gonna be Lacerate. Lacerated enemies suffer from damage over time and are unable to use their strong attacks or special moves. I feel like this is a really good status element to have, but at the same time not that impactful towards the game to be, you know, super valuable. Unless you're doing Senkaimon or like maybe in Arena, it's nothing too insane. Laceration doesn't do as much damage like Poison or Burn, but it's good sometimes in Senkaimon or in Arena to just like actually lacerate the enemy so they can't really do anything against you, besides basically using their NAD. So yeah, it's definitely not that bad. The next one is gonna be Slow. Not a lot of characters have this status ailment, but for those who have it, they are kinda meta in Arena, which makes sense because this is kinda a strong status element to have. In Arena only, I feel like, because other game modes you don't really use this. I mean, it's not that valuable against like mobs, but against bosses or players it's actually valuable. So basically Slow reduces movement speed and normal attack speed, also disables strong attacks, flash steps, and special moves. So whenever you get inflicted by slow in arena, you're kinda useless, not gonna lie. Especially if the other character has debilitator, because it's gonna last a long ass time and you're not really gonna be able to do anything. Maybe you're getting inflicted by the slow in the middle of a fight, 3 enemies are gonna gang up on you and you're probably gonna die. And the last status element that we are gonna discuss is gonna be confusion. Confusion reverses movement controls and randomizes the direction of attacks. This is the weakest status element in the game, because most of the times it just doesn't do anything at all towards the mobs. Even if you confuse them, as you can see in the current footage in the background, sometimes it just doesn't matter. It says it reverses movement controls and randomizes the direction of attacks, but it doesn't really matter, I'm not gonna lie. Especially if you're like, the enemy is gonna do an AoE attack, like that's an AoE attack. It just like, you know, like they cannot really miss it. It doesn't do any damage, and yeah, I mean, against mobs, it's not really that effective. Maybe sometimes you're lucky. I mean, I don't know, in Senkaimo, maybe, I guess. I don't know, it's not that good. And yeah, let's just rank all of the status elements, right? So first of all, before we are saying which status element is better than the other, whatever, almost all of the status elements in this game are super valuable to have in different game modes and different scenarios. Besides kinda confusion, I think confusion is kinda bad and kinda needs like some type of buff or something. But yeah, don't think about like any status element that we are gonna rank right now that like, okay, if like Lacerate is, I don't know, in C tier, it's way worse than like, I don't know, Freeze or whatever. You get the point. We are generally just making a tier list about them, overall how good they are. But maybe sometimes Freeze is gonna be way worse than to have Lacerate, right? You know, because like we have a lot of game modes, sometimes underrated status elements can perform way better than the best ones. It depends on the scenario, it depends on the situation, as I said before. So yeah, we are just gonna generally make a list about the status elements. So we have S, A, B, C, and D tier. I feel like Weaken is the best status elements to have, just because you are protected from any type of damage, unless it's just like another status element on you. But if like the enemy is trying to hit you, they are gonna do 1 damage, and at the same time when you inflict weakening, the damage that you can provide towards the enemy is gonna be so insanely high. The next one is gonna be Drain. Even though not a lot of characters have this status element, I feel like it's an OP status element to have, because it just gives you so much heal that you cannot really die. In B tier you can see Freeze and Paralyze. Both of the things are kinda the same, and I rank them kinda higher because I feel like it's more valuable to have protection against bosses or enemies or, you know, like mobs or whatever, than to have like a little bit damage towards them from burn or poison. You can do a lot of things with Freeze and Paralyze, just as like killing the boss. You can run away and prevent yourself from like getting hit by the special move. And yeah, it's a really good thing, you know, when like the enemy cannot move. The next 3 is gonna be Burn, Poison, and Lacerate. I think Burn and Poison is kinda better than Laceration because it does more damage, but at the same time Lacerate can be useful than Burn and Poison. Sometimes, maybe in Senkaimon, when you need to clutch, you know, when you have like low HP and you don't really want the enemy to just like actually use their special move or strong attacks or something, right? And the last tier we have Slow and Confuse. Slow is only really insanely good, I feel like, in Arena. It's not insanely bad in PvE content like Co-op Quest or something, but it's not as valuable as like Drain, Freeze, or Weaken. And of course, like the last one is gonna be Confusion. I don't really think this is good at all. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is, right? I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I felt like doing a guide video again, because I feel like not a lot of people talk about this topic, and it's gonna be helpful towards like new players for sure, and maybe some players who are interested like which status elements are kinda better than the others. Of course, keep that in mind. All of these things, what I mentioned before, are just my opinion. If you disagree with it, feel free to do so. Everyone has their opinion, and this is just how I think about the status elements that we have in the game right now. You know the vibes, man. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the content, feel free to sub to the channel. It helps me out a lot. And yeah, you know the vibes. Wherever you are, have a great day/night, and I hope I will see you at the next one. Bye bye.